Hello, winners, and welcome to Two for the Win with your hosts, Nick and Will. This is a milestone episode, 100 episodes. Woo! Yay to us.
Yay to all of you who are listening to us all week.
And to us. And putting in the work. 100 episodes since October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
That's hustling. It's not like we're picking our nose. Like we got full-time gigs that keep us busy. Got the travel business, doing these, but no, in all seriousness, thank you, listeners. It wouldn't be happening without your support and encouragement, and we really appreciate it. And in fact, if this is your first time listening or you've forgotten to do this, please be sure to subscribe, share, and follow Two for the Win on your favorite platform. We're on all of them. Check out YouTube if you haven't either. Our production team does a fantastic job with the graphics and different things, so it kind of brings it to life. But again, listen to us however you want. But if you have a moment to check us out on YouTube, please do it. And also want to give a shout out for today's sponsor. So nickmenard.com and the 1% push, as well as his Amazon best-selling book, Mindset is My Degree. Thank you, Nick Menard.
Thank you. Hello, winners.
100.
That's crazy. I remember the first time we came up with this idea. We were on the porch smoking a cigar and we're just talking about, okay, what could we do to impact more people based on what we are doing anyway? And we end up deciding to do a podcast like out of the blue. And I remember the week after I start ordering everything, and then you start thinking about names and everything like that. So it's been a long but fast journey, I felt like.
Yeah, 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you're being humble. It was your idea. You approached it because you had the book. The book was being published and you were getting all these interview requests. And you're like, hey, we could do some reciprocity. We talk about this stuff anyway. Why not record it? And I'm like, yeah, sounds like fun. And actually, and I've said this to people because people ask me like, how are you liking the podcast? All that. It's more fun than what I thought it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be fun, but I'm actually enjoying it even more. And then, you sacrificed one of the rooms of your house to make the studio. So appreciate you doing that. And that's where a lot of our recordings come from. Cause I only live like 25 minutes from Nick's. So just drive on over and, we have this nice setup. Yeah. It's all dedicated and stuff. And, I think we both talked about at different times people approaching us, whether it was the Monday Mindset episodes and they're getting insight into leadership and mindset, or the Wanderlust Wednesday, getting travel ideas, and then of course Fanatic Friday, and we get feedback on that, and that's a cool thing. We get feedback from you, our winners, and we try to incorporate it. So hopefully you see that, and we appreciate your loyalty and again, your sponsoring of us, and hopefully you're beyond just entertaining. Hopefully you're learning some things too that you can apply that is helping you in your life's journey.
Absolutely. No, what I really like is literally to hear people saying like, oh my God, you guys are hilarious about this, but are really insightful about this. The goal is not to be like a one-dimensional kind of podcast. We want to be able to touch as many people as possible, but to be also having fun, because people tend to be too serious sometimes, and it's possible to have some kind of success and talking about important topic like leadership, mindset, and entrepreneurship, building businesses, while keep having fun. If you don't have fun, I would not do it if it's not fun.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's not serious business. And I think that's what a lot of people like. And when it comes to Wanderlust Wednesday, again, it's not, I know that we represent a company that we own, but it's not. The goal is to inspire people and create new experience for people that maybe they never thought about going places. And thanks to maybe listening to us, that increase their chance to actually do it. And then we love to hear feedback from people actually acting on something that we share. So it's great. And on Friday, it's our fun podcast, but actually we receive so much feedback from this, and so many people they're looking forward to listen on Friday. So that's fun. I love that. And I know it's the beginning of the journey. We said when we started, we're not going to give up after X amount of time. The goal is really like we have fun. So I don't see us stopping. And the goal is to to be consistent,
Mhm.
because that's the message we have on all 3 of our episodes. And we're gonna lead by example and be consistent in this, even though it takes a lot of time, as you can imagine. But we're not going to go anywhere. So if you think about anything that we should be doing to improve, to implement, or just please share, we are here to listen to all of you, and going from there.
Yeah. And I think about, we're 6 months in, 100 episodes in. It wasn't a smooth journey. Like we had a original production company
Mhm.
that did not go well.
Nope.
And we changed it after 30 days, and now we have fantastic production company. So shout out to Vincent and Julie and all the others who contribute to this and make it happen so that they can bring it to you. Because I certainly am not going to be doing the tech
Nope.
stuff to put it together. So they do a fantastic job and have been a godsend because it's really simplified our life. Where that first 30 days, I'm like, ooh. It was a little rough. So if you're
Challenging.
thinking about doing a podcast, or you're thinking about starting anything, like we talked about with the business, like you can't wait for things to be perfect. You just have to get started, and then you can iterate along the way. So we had that change in production company after the first month, which has been fantastic. And then um just having different formats. Like we went from us just talking about different topics, and now we're doing a lot more interviews and bringing guests on, and the guests have been phenomenal. Like every single one has had some really good nuggets. A lot of guests, mostly on the Wanderlust Wednesday, but we've had several on Monday Mindset, and we'll expand here in the future for the Fanatic Friday to have some guests. So excited about that as well. But as you reflect back now, like what are some of the things that are standing out for you for the first 100 episodes?
So I was gonna say guest as well. I know that it's something we hear from peers who are doing podcasts, like guest, but we don't want to be, like I mentioned, unidimensional. We want to be doing more than one line, one thing. And I think that guest has definitely been amazing for us to
Mm-hmm.
increase like visibility and have the other perspective,
Mm-hmm.
because it's you and me, it's two people, but there are other perspective in sport, in travel, and in entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal at first when we started, it was to get one guest per month per category.
Mm-hmm.
So we are more than that in travel. We are a little bit less than that in entrepreneurship mindset,
Mm-hmm.
leadership, and we didn't start yet in sport because it's harder. You need to get like some credentials by
Mm-hmm.
having like more listeners, more followers, which
Mm-hmm.
we get more and more, which is great. But eventually we will. So we're already in discussion with some athletes, like for the sport part of it. So some are current athletes that
Mm-hmm.
are playing right now, NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. Some are, like retired from this industry. And some are even younger, like in college and even in high school, who are big prospects for future. So more to come, but we will start getting more and more athletes as well to bring to you, and so they can share their experience. And I think it's going to be phenomenal. On the entrepreneur piece, that's also something I'm looking forward to get
Mm-hmm.
more entrepreneur, more business owners coming and explaining their journey. So of course, if they talk about their business, that's going to be good for them to
Mm-hmm.
talk about the business, but it's more about the experience and what they did in order to achieve and to get where they are today.
Yeah.
So that's literally more what we are looking for, more than just market their business, but it's really more to understand what step they made, what challenge they had, and what did they do in order to persevere. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what we're looking for. So we are in discussion with other people on that level as well. And
Yeah.
for Wonderless Wednesday, we're not going to go anywhere. We continue to talk to more vendors to join our show. I expect a few more, and then something out of the box, like we
Mm-hmm.
had, for example, with Kevin recently,
Yeah.
who is a sailor
Yeah.
and explained his experience sailing. That's a little bit out of the norm for us, but it
Yeah.
was great, and we had a great feedback from this as well. So that's great. And we are Robert Riggs as well, who was
Yeah.
a very very different kind of guest explaining his story as a reporter, like
Mm-hmm.
during war. So yeah, so we try to really see what speaks volume the most for you guys. So when it does, let us know.
Yeah. No, I've been very humbled and touched, like having people who come up, especially at the same workplace that we're at, and they're like, I had one follower. She's great, and she's like, you got me thinking. And now I'm talking to my husband about what kind of side business we can build. And I was just chatting to her recently about some of the ideas that she had. She was floating by him, and it's, those are the ones that are really like warming, or like even the things we talk about leadership, and people are like, oh, now I understand and how to tweak this different, or like the destinations when we talk about
Mhm.
different places and on the travel, and they're like, oh, now it's opened up my eyes to different things I haven't considered before, which is
Mhm.
fantastic. And then I think for the sports, the one that kind of um, two things that really stand out on the sports. If you, I'm going to go back to the YouTube thing. If you haven't checked out our YouTube video of these podcasts, for the sports one in particular, they crush it. Like the
Mhm.
graphics they're using and stuff like that. Like the travel graphics are always great, especially the vendors when they
Mhm.
provide it and stuff. But when I think about our production team, and the sports graphics have been really impressive. And then the other thing that came out of the blue, I had no idea it would go that well, were my upset picks.
That's
On the
true.
sports one, like I'm already stressing about trying to live up to it next year. It might be the opposite, like just go against what I say to make money. But that was a roll. I went on a roll with the upset picks for a bit.
I
So
agree.
this was
I
fun.
agree. Looking back, yeah, the upset picks for the football season was
Yeah.
pretty damn good. So we're definitely gonna come up with something very probably the same, but also some variants for the football season because
Mhm.
that's where we have the most people interested because football is king.
Yeah.
But yeah, we want to expand to more sports or maybe dig deeper. We had recently a first episode talking about hockey. We got some
Mm.
people saying, "Oh my god, I love that you guys talk about local hockey," and we're not like it's not our first sport,
Yeah.
but we want to get better, so we start watching a lot more hockey now
Hmm.
during definitely during the playoffs. So it's good. So we try to really follow as much as possible what you are requesting or liking.
Hmm.
And then also, of course, I love for Monday mindset the quote and quips.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's great to start with like a quote and a quip with
yeah.
some levity to be able to attack a subject of the day. And I think that's something that stick with it. Some people laugh about they say, "Oh, quote and quips." So yeah, so it's stick in people's mind. So, but you're
Yeah.
totally right. When someone comes and said, "Okay, we're thinking about doing something we never thought before," thanks to listening to you guys, that's everything because
Hmm.
that's literally why we do that. We do that to inspire and see
Hmm.
if we can inspire people to open a business and who knows maybe change their family's life eventually. That's phenomenal just
Hmm.
by chatting for 30 minutes. That's pretty cool. I
Oh
love
yeah,
that part a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. And yeah, a lot of people have come up about our book recommendations and been
Hmm.
happy with that. And of course, your book was the impetus of all this. And no, that's been a great traction.
Hmm.
And you get a lot of feedback about people learning more about your story and finding inspiration in it, which is phenomenal. And then it's actually kind of helping to broaden our horizons. So I'm going to publicly declare this. You're probably going to kick me now, but we're looking to get featured on TEDx at some point.
Mm.
Like, and it's come from in part of this,
Hmm.
right? Like because we're interacting, we're talking, and it's been very rewarding. And so now it's like, hey, can we parlay this into being a featured speaker and then see where that goes. So again, it's the no limits mindset, the growth mindset, but I want to thank our winners because, if nobody listened to this, maybe we'd be like, I don't know about the speaking thing, but now it helps gives us even greater confidence to continue to pursue that. So more to come on that. Hopefully in the future, we'll have an announcement to share on a date for that.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this because it's an experience. Again, it's an experience and it's going to be fun and something to reflect on and think about and get better at something and then continue the journey. It's all about the journey. It's not the destination. So I love that. Also, I think for Monday mindset, um, we had a few episodes in a row where we talked about entrepreneurship, and
Hmm.
uh, and I think that's something that we got a lot also of people like loving this those kind of episodes. So we'll see what we can do to to increase that. But that's definitely something, like you mentioned with your follower who mentioned that. But it's definitely something I think we should be reflecting and see if we can implement that more, because
Mhm.
it's everything. Like if you start entrepreneurship, you will need leadership, you will need a strong growth mindset.
Mhm.
So I think the entrepreneurship piece will probably be able to reach out more people who are actively who are serial entrepreneur, or
Mhm.
people who are want to become one, or it's I think there are a lot to go there. And that's
Mhm.
maybe at first we didn't think too much about that. We thought more about the mindset piece and the leadership piece, but entrepreneurship is part of it.
Mhm.
And so that's something we're gonna implement by maybe having more entrepreneurs coming joining us as guests to explain what they did in order to achieve what they achieved in life
Mhm.
and in their business, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, yeah. I think back, Eric was a great guest
Mm-hmm.
and his journey with EBS payments, and then Sophia. I mean, she was great, high energy,
Absolutely.
and
Beth?
yeah, yeah. So I mean,
Betty,
we,
sorry. Betty.
yeah, yeah. No, it's been great. So I think we will continue to build upon that. I think that's a great idea, and it seems like it's resonating with our winners. So we'll have that balance, and feature a little bit more in the entrepreneurship. And I think people got to learn about our backgrounds more. And I don't think many people would have guessed some of our backgrounds and some of the stuff we were
Yeah.
doing, but how it shaped our mindset and the good things we took from it and the learnings we took from it. And um, so again, the road to life very rarely goes like this. Like, it's usually a lot of ups and downs and back and forth and all that. The key is keep going forward, fall down, dust yourself off, take that next step. And if nothing else, hopefully you're taking a little bit of incorporating the growth mindset, building grit and resilience, not fearing mistakes, focusing more on the learnings and with things like that. And then again, when you think about the travel like that, just doing the podcast with you has opened up my eyes on travel even more. I would have never considered Antarctica. Probably not really thinking much about an African safari, but my eyes have opened in doing that. And river cruising, I always kind of was thinking about the river cruising, but now learning more about it and just seeing the passion from the vendors who do it and the
Mm.
places to see, just amazing. And so, and even the different ships and stuff. Oh, I didn't tell you. So, one of our listeners went for their first ever time on Virgin Voyages,
Oh, yeah.
and left the kids at home. So that
Mm-hmm.
was good. The family pitched in and took care of the kids so they could do it. And she sent me a couple of pictures of the food, because that was one of the things you talked about with
Uh-huh.
Virgin is the food, and I have yet to experience Virgin. Those pictures, my stomach now is even starting to rumble a little bit. That's another thing on the podcast. My stomach rumbling tends to happen from time to time. But oh man, Virgin
Mm.
Voyages. Whew, that food looks amazing, and no kids. You get a little breather for those who have kids. That might be a welcome breather.
No, absolutely. And that's something great about the Wonderlist Wednesday. So in the business, when people come up and wonder, okay, what should I be doing? I would like to do something for 10-year anniversary or honeymoon or whatever it is. Of course, I have conversation to understand better what they want to do, what the experience they want to what I want to do. Literally,
Hmm.
like, what do you want to experience? And in the past, it was all about talking.
Hmm.
We have a conversation. Now, because of the 33 episodes we had of Wanderlust Wednesday, and so many different topics with some VPs of sales or business development manager of each vendors who come talk with us. I share the link,
Hmm.
so it makes it easier. Same for my associates, so people working in the agency, where they have questions as well, like, hey, I'm looking into, I don't know, WinStar
Hmm.
for a client or for myself. Do you have information about WinStar? I'm like, sure. Here's the back office where to go when it's someone who just started, for example. But here is the link as well of the interview with Janet, which is the WinStar chief
Hmm.
commercial officer. So this help as well navigate the question, and it show a lot more professionalism, because you not only you talk about it, but you have an episode that they can watch on YouTube, like you mentioned, and have the videos, the
Mm,
picture while
hmm.
Janet is talking about the experience on Windstar, for example. But it's a case for everything we talk about. The
Yeah.
safari you mentioned with Guillaume, same. So it's literally just the ability to share what we talk about also for potential clients, and they have like a 30 minutes like wow moment when they know everything about the line, the cruise line, or the experience, the safari that they're looking to do. So it has a purpose what we're doing to help people in mind, people experience, people family time, people significant other time, and
Hmm.
then fun for weekends talking about sports and seeing what to do. So we try to really tackle different things within the same, you know, podcast. But again, the most important is really for you guys to not have any issue to come up to us if
Hmm.
you have any question or if you want to change anything. I got a followers contacting me like yesterday or the day before and saying, Nick, amazing, I just listened to the episodes, I understand better now about how things work on the back end, like for development plan and things like that. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, that was an episode from a few weeks ago, so that person actually listened to it, you know now, which was a few weeks back. So I don't care when you guys listen, as long as you are taking something out of it,
Oh, right.
and then run with it. And that, I think, is the most important, is to impact people. If you impact people, whatever you want to achieve yourself will come back to you at some point. But
Hmm.
if you look at first impacting others, that's where success lies to me.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I got pinged today by somebody who's in sales in the DC area, and they picked up on a post that we had on LinkedIn about micromanaging and stuff. And he's like, "That was a deep statement." And he's like, I listened to the episode and just amazing and stuff like that. But that was posted at least 3 weeks
Oh
ago, I
yeah,
think,
oh
and
yeah.
stuff. So it's cool, and we know some are listening to it while they're doing their walks and
Hmm.
doing different things. So I appreciate you taking us on the journey to maybe we'll peel the curtain back a little bit. Like one of the questions I get a lot is, when the heck do you do this? Because, again, we got full-time gigs, we got businesses we're building and stuff like that. So I'll peel back the curtain a little bit. I would say about 90% of our episodes are recorded on either Monday evening or Thursday evening.
Yep.
So if you're looking to hit us up to do something socially, Monday night and Thursday nights are pretty much out. If it's an interview, that's different because
Yeah.
it's podcast related. But pretty much, in terms of time management and real, that's our biggest constraint in life is time, right? So pretty much Monday and Thursdays for the most part. Every once in a while, we'll sprinkle in a weekend episode,
We
just
did a couple
depending.
of times, man.
Yeah, but I would say more than 90% it's done Monday and Thursday. And the other question I get a lot is, do you pre-plan your topics? And the answer is no.
Nope.
The pre-planning happens about 5 minutes before we go live because, and it seems to be resonating, but we wanted the discussion to be organic and free flowing, and that sounds scripted and
Hmm.
stuff. And it actually, it's the same with our people we interview. We don't give
Hmm.
them like a bunch of
Script.
pre-scripted questions because if you listen to our interviews, usually towards the end, we're like, is there something we didn't ask that you wanted to feature? So that gives them an opportunity to feature something that maybe we didn't get to. But again, we want it to be free flowing and organic and not sound like, it's scripted work and we're B-rated actors or
No,
something.
I love what you said, because I've been so far published in 10 different podcasts as a guest,
Hmm.
and half of them send you like literally a scripted questions.
Hmm.
Here's what I'm going to ask you during those 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. Um, but again, it makes me think about it before starting, and I don't like that.
Hmm.
I'm much rather, I love the people who said like, here, we're going to talk about your story. We're going to talk about mindset. How did you become, a senior leader, building businesses or things like that. I'm like, fine, I can talk about it better than anyone because it's my story.
Yeah, right.
So I don't need to have like question, but if there's a question, I will think about it. And I will
Hmm.
say, what should I be saying there? So it's more actually, it's harder for me to do it when you have the question before. And I remember there was one interview I had. The person really like drilled me positively, but really he drilled me. Like he asked me, okay, what if this happen? What would we do in that case? And I'm like, it makes me think, but it's positive because my answer will be spontaneous and really what I think, and not something that I prepare in advance, like that I made a story. So I really think I like that personally, to keep it open. And yeah, we're definitely going to continue to do that way. But it's true that we literally, Will comes to my house and then we just said, okay, what are we going to talk about today? And then we brainstorm 2-3 topics. Okay, let's do that. Then Will, you look at your quote and quips. He's 100% Will. So he's looking at finding one or two. He literally say 3-4 out loud, and then we pick one. And then, all right, let's do it. We click record and we start. And very, very rarely we are posing. It happens maybe 3-4 times in 100 times that we literally pause for XYZ reason. Otherwise, we just talk for 30 minutes and then the production company take care of the rest.
Yeah.
So yes, thank God that we have that. But I think it's one of the reasons why we choose to do a podcast, because we can literally talk about those topics like in our sleep, because we are, when we hang outside podcast before the podcast, we were talking about those topics all the time anyway. Yes. We were talking about travel, maybe a little bit less, but mindset, leadership, and sport, that's literally our number one subject of conversation.
Yeah.
So we will literally do the same, but on camera, on the microphone right now. So that's definitely that's definitely natural, and that helps, because if you needed to script everything we talk, then we have no time. We don't have time. But yeah, Monday, Thursday are the 2 days that we record 90% of the time or episodes. So
yeah. And on the YouTube, since we're on YouTube, sometimes I'll bring multiple shirts, right? So it looks different because we record, sometimes it's just one episode. Sometimes we've done, I think, as many as 4 in one day. So it just kind of depends. But, in case people are looking on YouTube, I didn't want to always have the same shirt on. So I show up. It looks like I picked up dry cleaner or something. I walk into Nick's house and I got 2-3 shirts on hangers that I'm bringing in so I can change it up since we're recording different episodes. But it's been a blast, and certainly appreciate you, all the winners, feedback. I remember somebody reaching out, hey, I used to have a podcast. I got video equipment for you if you need it. It was so sweet. We've gotten feedback hey, you maybe touch on a little bit more of this, or talk more about this experience, and even technical, hey, sometimes the sound seemed off. And so we're able to give that feedback to the production company and get that fixed. So 100 episodes, my brother.
That's a fit. I mean, we're gonna look back when we are 1,000, and it's gonna be gonna be fun. I think that what we're gonna increase the most is literally the guest experience.
Yeah,
because ideally, I'm not promising nothing, but ideally it would be every other one would be a guest. We are pretty much there with vacation, with the Wonderless Wednesday one. But if we could get that for everything, that would be perfect. So we have some things about topics that we discuss as we always do, but also someone else's perspective about things that we discuss in between would be perfect. And sport, I think if we can get, some names. I'm not promising LeBron James or Anthony
you might have
Edwards.
Charles Barkley after you met with him. So
I told him, literally, I told Charles Barkley. So for those who didn't listen to that episode, I forgot when it was. It was probably around February, end of December, January, because I saw Charles Barkley a few times, but last year in December, I saw him in Vegas. And of course, I'm taller than him. So he looked, and then we just fist bump, no communication, nothing. And then I go to Phoenix the week after from Vegas. I go to Phoenix for a week. And then I end up in a sport bar because that's where I like to go. And so it was Sunday football, and I end up there. Who's coming in? Charles Barkley. And I literally said, no way. And so I go say hi. And he said, I know you. And I'm like, yeah, I saw you last week in Vegas again. And he said, we start talking back and forth, but for, chit chat, nothing huge. And then he leaves. I go sit down for the games, and then he came back because he won a large amount on the first game. And it was the game I remember that Washington beat Philadelphia on overtime. Yeah. And then he comes back to cash it, and I was on the line as well. And he said, no way, 3 times. And then we literally spent 5 minutes chatting about basketball, about live production. And I told him next time, one more time, and then I get you on my podcast. And he like, oh, I can give you the name of my manager, but he was laughing. But if I get to meet him one more time somewhere,
there we go.
I will definitely do my best, because if I can get Sir Charles, that will be great. But we have different names of people that are in the radar, people that initial conversation happen with people who are actually in NBA, and one of them just won an award actually. So it's not a little NBA player, or it's not someone that is at the end of the bench. So more to come, but I hope to get some name like that, and some future prospect in football, and some, whatever. We have ideas. Now we need to just put them together and get that. And I think it's gonna get us more visibility for the sport world. And what's good with what we do is that when people are coming to talk about sport, well, they will realize that we do other things like travel and mindset. So the goal is literally all the topic we talk about could be for anybody, unless you hate sport. But mindset, leadership, and travel, everybody travel, and everybody wants to improve, or should want to improve their life in general, because mindset is not only about business.
Right, correct. No, absolutely. And I will say the one last thing that was a really positive experience was going to Podfest for the first time. Like, I really enjoyed that. Those sessions were informative, the community, and we met Robert Riggs on that. And for those of you who don't know, he was an investigative reporter on Dateline and 60 Minutes back in the day, and we had him as a guest. Yeah. So really cool things. And again, it wouldn't be possible without you, our winners, our listeners. So thank you. And 100 episodes in, looking forward to do 100 plus more as we continue on this journey. As Nick said, 1,000. So at this pace, that'll be 5 years from now. So 5 years from now, we'll be reflecting on 1,000 episodes, and be a lot of fun.
Here we go. There you go. I think that was good. Thank you for listening again.
Yep. Thanks, winners. And please be sure to subscribe, share, and follow. 2 for the win going forward. And thanks again to nickmenard.com and the 1% Push, and his best-selling book on Amazon, Mindset is My Degree, for sponsoring today's episode. That'll do it for this 100th milestone episode. Look forward to next Monday Mindset winners, or catch you on the Wanderlust Wednesday or Fanatic Friday. In the meantime, take care.
Bye, winners.
Bye.